This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
So that's what's going on. I've been charged with making the Neverending Story sequels into something better than they currently are, and you guys are going to let me do that, or else your world is doomed to mediocrity. Deal? I'm going to talk about the Neverending Story 2, what's wrong with it, and then I'm going to make a pitch for what might make it better, and I'm going to walk on by, and you guys aren't going to zap me, right? Okay then, here we go. So yeah, the Neverending Story 2, the next chapter. I should have said this in my review for the first movie, but I haven't read the original book, which is why you aren't hearing me making any comparisons between it and the adaptation.
And on the topic of not having read the book, if a movie leaves out information that was covered in the book, then that's a failing on the movie's part. You shouldn't have to do homework in order to understand and enjoy a movie. For example, the Aran actually did protect Atreyu in the Swamp of Sadness, but the movie didn't quite make that point clear. By all means, read the books that movies are based on, but you shouldn't have to read them just to understand the movie.
But I suppose calling this sequel the next chapter is appropriate, since I gather that it's kinda sort of following the second half of the book, and... wait a minute. The Neverending Story was written by Michael End? This isn't the Neverending Story, it's literally the forever-ending story! You also might have noticed that, save for Mr. Coriander, the bookstore owner, none of the original actors are back for the sequel. Fair enough. Original Bastian Barrett Oliver would have been about 17 at the time, so it only makes sense to cast him with a new actor who's more or less the same age bracket he was. But since I'm a stickler for continuity, it bugs me to see a new cast who looks nothing like the original actors. I'm irked by how absolutely no effort was put into making Bastian and his dad look like what they used to, yet I'm blown away by how their kitchen is exactly the same, save for very few and very minor modifications.
Ugh, the open cabinets are hitting my OCD hard. And he's stabbing that sandwich and letting it fly all over the place. This kid doesn't know how to kitchen. Wait, that's Dad? Ooh, Gerald McRaney got a glow up.
Or maybe Bastian just wished for his dad to look like this. Who doesn't want a superhero for a father? Another curious continuation of continuity is this callback to how he didn't try out for the swimming team in the first movie, but here he is in this movie giving it a go. Wouldn't it make more sense if reading the Neverending Story gave him a much-needed sense of empowerment that allowed him to conquer his fear of horses and become an expert rider?
And they're starting out on the high board? Wait a minute. Why is there a board at all? He's trying out for the swim team, not the diving team.
Not only is Bastian still as much of a wuss as he was before and chickens out of jumping, but apparently he can't bear to part with this sweater that his mother made for him years ago. Dude, I get it, but it's time to retire that thing.
And that's not how yarn ages. That thing looks like it got into a fight with a weed whacker and lost. They need to fumigate for moths.
Seriously, I'm really trying to not sound like an asshole, but wasn't the point of going through the perils of the Neverending Story supposed to help make Bastian a little less whiny? And one could make the argument that his mother is living on in the form of the Empress in the new Fantasia according to his dreams and wishes. It looked like there was a lot of healing going on by the end of the last movie. Why is Bastian doing worse in this one? He goes back to the bookstore from before, and it's still just as head-tilting that a store that sees no business would still be in business. While Mr. Coriander is looking for a book to help Bastian with his diving problem, he comes across the Neverending Story again. But something is wrong with it.
Put it back! Book asks too much of you.
But it's the Neverending story. I've already read it.
Did you not just notice the text disappearing? Maybe you want to bring that up?
But if you ever read a book twice, books change each time you read them.
No. No, they really don't. Maybe your understanding or interpretation of it can change with subsequent readings, but books don't change. Or at least the safe ones don't. Bastian wants to read it again instead of looking into what he came in for, and he runs off with it. Heh, I'm enabling his growing kleptomania. Yeah, it's implied that he eventually did return the book like he said he was going to, but here he just steals it right in front of God and everybody.
The moral, boys and girls, is take whatever you want. Disrespect any and all authority.
After finding out that he can take the Orin right off the cover, he opens the book and is transported into... It's a Small World from Disneyland? We then meet the villain of the movie, a woman named Zaida, who doesn't have her own face. She's created a machine that takes a memory from Bastian every time he makes a wish.
And he won't remember where he came from. Won't remember his own world. But best of all, he will have forgotten his mission. Why he came to Fantasia. He will have forgotten the childlike Empress. That's when I'll bring order to the chaos they call dreams and stories.
So, nothing in Fantasia is real. Everything that we're seeing is simply the manifestation of someone's imagination. Bearing that in mind, who's the asshole who's dreaming up the villain who wants to destroy dreams and stories?
The screenwriters?
The screenwriters are the real villains. Yeah, that checks out. Zaida's henchbird Nimbly here has been charged with making Bastian wish for things to accelerate her plan.
I'm Bastian.
Nimbly's the name. Tour guide's the game.
Does Nimbly have a second tiny hand coming out of his wrist? These people don't know how books work. They don't know how birds work.
Watch out! Pure acid.
Acid? Who's dreaming up oceans made of acid? And why?
Fantasians will be very grateful if you wish for the lake to be filled with crystal spring water instead.
What do you mean, if I would wish?
You have Orin. It fulfills all of your wishes.
Weren't wishes already being granted to him since the last movie?
The only reason this place exists is because of his wishes, which the Orin didn't help with at all.
Come on. Try it out. Start with the lake. Make it purple. Add some sugar.
When you want to make it Kool-Aid now? Oceans are supposed to be water, not acid, not Kool-Aid, water.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason for the acid. Maybe it keeps everything nice and shiny. I wouldn't want to change anything. It's so pretty.
I wish that the Silver City could remain nice and pretty without the need for an ocean full of acid. Hello! Yeah, get used to this, people. He was able to recreate an entire world thanks to the power of wishing, and now it looks like he doesn't even know what wishing is. Why did the childlike Empress choose this guy when literally anybody from Earth can make wishes in Fantasia? And does it speak in favor of or against Bastian's imagination if he imagines this fantasy world to look like a series of very obvious models? It isn't long until they run into these Garthen-looking things, and sure, they're big and scary and pose a threat to those without the means of wishing for anything that they want. But again, Bastian doesn't think of anything like, I wish these things would fall over dead, I'd wish they'd turn into puppies, I'd wish they'd explode. Come on, kid!
Acid! Wish them away!
Nimbly!
Just wish!
He's just as useless in this movie as he was in the first one.
No, he's worse. In the first movie, he's just reading a book. He has no idea what kind of a role he's actually playing here. But in this one, he knows what he can do, and he knows how to do it, and he's still doing nothing! He eventually gets away just through sheer stupid luck, and then he winds up in... whatever this place is.
Who is this?
Excuse me?
Hi.
You have come to the ship of secret plots.
You better not ask him if he's the keymaster.
And shouldn't the ship of secret plots be more difficult to find than this? Luckily, these creatures just happen to have a direct line to the childlike Empress.
Bastian, you were the only Earthling moved by our plight.
Please tell me, what's going on? Are you hurt?
Someone gave me a bad perm that makes it look like I got my head stuck in a Brillo pad, but I'll be fine.
The same force that makes the books in your world become empty has made me a prisoner in my castle.
What is this force?
Only you can name it, Bastian.
A force that erases all imagination? Yeah, I guess you can name it only Bastian.
We are the creatures of human fantasies. We need your dreams and stories to exist. But the people in your world no longer believe in us. They have no time to give us names and stories.
Tell me what I have to do.
She just did.
Only you can save us, Bastian. You are my last hope.
We must get all the people in Fantasia to help us.
She just said that only you can save them. Pay attention!
The Empress is being held prisoner. And before we can fight the force that is holding her, I must give it a name. Who will join me on my quest?
Why do you need others to help you give this thing a name?
Because he's an idiot, and he needs all the help he can get.
You saw the giants, they're everywhere.
You can't hide. There will be more giants, and they'll destroy your beautiful ships. If you give up, it's not only the end of Silver City, it's the end of Fantasia. And do you know what that means? The children of my world will have no more stories to read.
Screw the destruction of everyone and everything you know and love. The children of my world will have no stories to read.
Then, because it's narratively convenient for him to do so, Atreyu shows up. Bastian could have wished for his best friend to show up to help him with his quest that he can't do alone, but this works too.
Where do they come from?
People talk about a castle that looks like a hand. Some say that's where the giants come from.
So that's where we should be heading.
Why? Can't you just name the force that's plaguing Fantasia from here? The Empress said that she's being held prisoner in her own castle. If you have to go anywhere, why aren't you going there?
Nimbly, do you know of a castle that looks like a hand?
You mean our castle? The seeing hand? Sure.
Do you know how to get there?
There are no roads. You'll have to fly. But a little wish would go a long way.
A wish?
I know, right? Wishes are just silly. I mean, what are you gonna do next? Wish that your dead best friend came back to life? Pfft.
I need something... something that... can fly.
Oh my god, Nimbly already said that you'd have to fly! This is just sad! Does this kid have the ability to retain any information at all?
I'll wish for the most horrible flying dragon in the history of Fantasia.
Are you sure you don't want to wish for Falcor? A luck dragon is the only way to go on a quest.
I wish him to be red. No, green. I wish him to fly as fast as the Concorde and stink so bad that he makes you sick.
Yeah, he won't wish to save his life, but go ahead and wish for specific aesthetic choices, because those are important.
Priorities.
Oh no!
When I wished for the most horrible dragon in the history of Fantasia, I wasn't expecting to get the most horrible dragon in the history of Fantasia! You're an idiot, kid.
And really? This is the most horrible dragon in the history of human imagination? It looks like the derpy sea serpent from the original submarine ride at Disneyland.
No, it's worse. He's a Jar Jar Binks!
We can't let it loose on Fantasia. Who knows what it might do?
It's not going to do anything. People dream of hideous monsters all the time, and they're not doing anything to ruin Fantasia.
What are you gonna do? Chase it.
Chase? Did somebody say chase?
Falcor!
I totally forgot that you were a thing. Wow, am I stupid?
He was right there! This movie is seeking ways to be stupid.
So they chase after the dragon. That's not going to do anything. Good thing Atreyu didn't have to worry about the sea of acid before writing through repurposed footage from the last movie.
And it's a good thing the dragon is burning everything in its wake so that they have a trail to follow. Oh wait, no, it's not. How are they following him?
Also, I have rather serious doubts that Artex can run as fast as Falcor can fly. It'd be easy enough for Bastian to wish that Artax could run as fast as Falcor could fly, or maybe wish Artax into a Pegasus, but we all know that that kind of creative thinking is just impossible for him.
And what are they going to do when they catch the dragon anyway?
Why do they even need to try to catch it? Why can't Bastian just wish for the power to undo any wish that he doesn't like?
I wish for the powers of Control-Z.
The dragon flies all the way to the castle that looks like a hand. I don't remember Bastian wishing for the dragon to do that. And then the castle just blows it up. So yeah, this little problem just ended up fixing itself, making it completely pointless. Then Bastian and Falcor bump into the Rockbiter, who I guess must have crushed his little friends a long time ago since they're nowhere to be seen.
Rockbiter!
You'll wake him up.
Oh my god, what is that?
Apparently he has a baby now. It's the Lost Garbage Pail Kid. Ankle Biter.
I don't care what you call it. It's evil. That is a demon baby.
Here's something really bizarre. The Rockbiter in the first movie was voiced by Alan Oppenheimer, who is famous in Transformer circles for playing Warpath, Seaspray, and Beachcomber. But the Rockbiter in this movie? A complete mystery. Not even IMDb knows who it is. Weird. He explains that he's having trouble finding food because all the rocks that he finds have become empty, just like everything else in Fantasia.
You're fighting a losing battle, childlike Empress. Soon your slick little castle will be as dark as mine.
Yes, and what do you get out of it exactly? Fantasia becomes empty, and then what? Comork said that something bigger was behind the nothing that was seeking to control humanity, which would be easier to do since they can no longer hope or dream. What's your ultimate goal? Are you the force that was behind the nothing this whole time? She then takes a peek at one of Bastian's memories that's turned into a giant fish egg for some reason.
The window got broke. I didn't do it.
Don't lie to me.
You promised to take me swimming. You promised. You promised.
Something's come up.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
That's a memory Bastian has lost.
He doesn't remember that he hates his father? Oh no?
And that's a pretty big pile of memory balls there. So far, Bastian has wished for only one thing, that goofy-looking dragon, but he somehow stretched it out into several wishes instead of just one. Not only can this kid not think of anything to wish for, he can't even make wishes properly.
His dad tracks the Neverending story back to the bookstore from whence it came to look for his missing son, but Mr. Coriander would rather be vague about it than try to explain it.
My son's missing since last night.
Heavy reading for a young man. Maybe...
When did you last see him?
Maybe you'll find the explanation for your son's disappearance inside.
And maybe I'll just call the police now, you old pervert.
Back to the story within the story, Atreyu finally catches up with Bastian.
Atreyu, we were getting worried about you. What took you so long?
He's riding a horse. It's just a little bit slower than a luck dragon. No, apparently Atreyu's running a little behind because he went on a detour and got himself a sack full of warriors to help them.
Right here.
Atreyu, get real.
But I am real.
No, you're not. You're fictional.
And with all the other crazy crap in this world, why is it so hard to believe that an army might fit in a tiny bag?
So that's the plan.
Yep. 3 arrows. Looks like a brilliant plan to me.
You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
What if something happens to you, Bastian? Somebody must miss you in your world.
By the way, what happened to my voice? I didn't sound like this in the first movie.
Nobody misses me.
But what about you? Don't you miss somebody?
Oh God, don't ask.
Look. The ivory tower.
Maybe we should go there to save the Empress.
Bastian, in your world, if the never-ending story is fading, no child will ever know about Junior.
That is a very good point. Okay, guys, quest's off. Let's go home. They make it to the castle they really have no reason to infiltrate when...
You saved my life, Atreyu.
Yes. But you would have done the same for me.
Sure. Atreyu, get real.
The giants attack, but Atreyu busts out his portable army.
Eggs? Eggs are gonna do us a lot of good! Whambos, go!
Maybe that's why Atreyu was told he had to go on his last mission alone. His idea of backup is just a bunch of party favors.
I disagree. These things are actually pretty brilliant. They hatch, they go on the attack, and then the giants have no choice but to fall over and die laughing.
Now's your chance! Go!
What about them?
It's a good day to die. Please don't say that.
Or at least say it with more conviction.
It's a good day to die!
And the terrifying giants look like cartoon elephants who are afraid of mice. Is this Bastian's imagination at work, or is it just stupid?
Stupid!
While they're distracted, Bastian ditches Atreyu and tries to look for another way in.
I just wish there was some other way in.
You know, Orin, you're not very helpful. He wished for another way in. You could have given him a door!
I wish for another step! And another one! And another! And another one!
Oh my fucking god, I wish I was at the top of the tower! Is that so difficult?!
Nice. Very nice.
No grown woman should be that excited about a little boy's balls.
The giants get bored and just wander off, and Atreyu is captured after his foot gets caught in the door. The savior of Fantasia, ladies and gentlemen. The first movie had the swamps of sadness, the desert of shattered hopes. Are they in the cliffs of embarrassment? Luckily, Bastian finds them and wishes his best friend free.
Try to swing around.
It won't work.
I wish Atreyu was free and standing right beside me.
The chain!
Grab it!
I wish my arms were a little longer so I could reach Atreyu more easily.
I wish we'd defeated our enemies. I wish the Empress was safe.
The giants come back as they remember,
oh yeah, we're supposed to be stopping these kids.
We need weapons. I wish for...
oh god, here it comes!
a spray can!
Just... what was the thought process here? Please, explain it to me. You're in a lethal situation. You're surrounded by these giant, horrible monsters who want to kill you. You need something to defend yourself. And your first thought is a spray can?! I honestly don't get it. Fantasia is made of humanity's hopes and dreams. The boundlessness of one person's imagination would be one thing, but take that and multiply it by about 8 billion, and it gives you a really good idea of just how boundless Fantasia really is. With so many options that are available for the Empress to choose, why does she insist that Bastian is the only one who can save the world? He's an idiot! Literally, anyone else on Earth can outdream this kid!
Pick a new champion!
Spray can. That's a weapon in your world? Yeah. People use it against walls.
According to IMDb, this movie premiered in Germany on October 25th, 1990. Something else happened in Germany not even a year before, and it was a pretty big deal. Do you know what it was? The fall of the Berlin Wall! And it sure as hell took a lot more than spray paint to tear it down!
He didn't even wish for spray paint! He wished for a spray can! What if he had ended up with a can of compressed air?
But against all logic and probability, the spray can actually does the job.
I do not believe what we have done.
Neither do we!
The giants are empty. They're hollow and empty.
They're unfulfilled and hollow and empty.
They're vacant and unfulfilled and hollow and empty.
Atreyu, I know what threatens Fantasia.
You have found its name?
It's the emptiness.
Dun dun dun? Yeah, the Nothing may not be the most creative name either, but at least it was to the point. Even before anyone could identify it, they knew exactly what it was and what it was doing to Fantasia. Here, the entire point is first finding a name to what's threatening Fantasia. The name reveal is a tense Ermagerd moment. And that's the best you can do? The emptiness just sounds like something that's lacking and needing to be filled. Why not call it something more cosmic, like the Void?
Ooh, that does sound better.
The Earthling knows about the emptiness.
He's stronger than we thought. Perhaps threatening him with giants isn't the way. Time for a change of tactics.
No, you will not seduce that little boy, lady.
Okay, I'm gonna say something just a little bit off the rails here, but I actually like how Bastian is being pitted against a villain who has a face. And not a bad looking one at that. First of all, Zaida here controls all that is empty, and it seems as though she has all the same powers and abilities as the Nothing. But having a more finite shape instead of being a vague concept makes her look underwhelming. Like you don't need to think of her as a threat, despite how extremely dangerous she is. Secondly, Bastian is about 13, 14 years old at this point. He's at that age where he could be easily manipulated by a pretty face, and this creature knows exactly what kind of face to wear to appeal to him.
It's still icky.
Don't worry, baby, it's only PG. They're not gonna do anything.
PG promises nothing.
Nice fucking model!
Bastian and Atreyu make it to Zaida's throne room, and she surrenders to them.
That someone so young could be so clever.
So, you're the one who makes everything empty.
I control all that is empty.
Just to control things, you destroy stories and books?
Kid, you saw firsthand the things that people will do just to be in control, even to the point where it doesn't make any sense.
I am the servant of the power behind the Nothing. And he's just going to let me die after the world is destroyed. This was a really bad idea on my part, wasn't it?
They demand that she come with them to the Ivory Tower to free the Empress from the spell that she cast, but she refuses, since I guess that's how surrendering works.
I will not leave my castle.
Yes, you will.
Out of the question.
Perhaps she feels it's a good day to die.
Or, I wish that we were all at the Ivory Tower. Dad drives home with the book, and it's here where we see the real chaos that's threatening Fantasia. Misspellings, bad punctuation, different dialogue from what was actually said in the first movie. What Zaida should really be looking for is a decent editor.
Speaking of, the book refers to the Empress as Moonchild. That's the name that Bastian gave her, and that's the name that the book is now using. Why has Bastian been calling her the childlike Empress instead of Moonchild? That sure would help everyone who couldn't hear him the first time. Seriously, thank you for telling me her name is Moonchild. I had no idea.
Since they don't think of wishing everyone to the Ivory Tower, Zaida takes something called a Zobele, which I guess is a giant motorized strawberry. Okay. And then we jump back to the real world where Dad calls the police on Coriander's creepy ass, but he and his entire bookstore have gone missing.
Looks like there hasn't been a bookstore here for a long time. Are you sure this is the right address?
I am not the type of person to make things up.
He didn't suggest you were. Sometimes people make mistakes. Relax.
Look, I'm an engineer, all right? What I see is what I see when I see.
Wait a minute. Are you an American cop? I thought this was Canada. What's going on? So the emptiness is threatening the continued existence of Fantasia, and not only is it killing off imagination like The Nothing was trying to do, but it's also making books literally disappear? Is this happening everywhere, or is it isolated to just this one store? And what, Coriander's gone too? Did the emptiness take him as well? Did it not only eat every bookstore and library in the world, but all of the people running them too? If that's what's going on, why isn't every police department in every country suddenly flooded with reports of missing persons and millions of dollars of stolen goods? Why is this guy the only one noticing it? Back on Bastian's end, Zaida is trying to turn Bastian against Atreyu. She even has a little gift for him.
What is it? It's a belt that makes its wearer invisible.
Oh sure, nothing suspicious about that, and certainly not to a bookworm like Bastian. Call him! I wasn't expecting an invisibility belt to make me invisible.
Is there any way I can reach into the movie and smack this kid?
Atreyu tries to point out that they've been going in circles, but Bastian thinks that Zaida can't be trusted.
How can you believe her? How can we even be sure she's going to help us free the childlike empress? I can tell when someone lies to me.
No, you can't. Honestly, it would be so much more satisfying if it was implied that Bastian was so quick to trust Zaida because she's exploiting the fact that he's a horny teenager, but instead, it really comes across like Bastian is just frickin' stupid. He grew up reading books like Lord of the Rings, Treasure Island, and The Wizard of Oz, but he can't see how unrepentantly evil this lady is or how manipulative her tactics are? Come on, man! And then Dad puttered it around for a bit, waiting for the book to tell him what to do.
Hopefully the book will tell him to turn on a light.
Bastian's head emptied with every wish, and he hardly remembered his father, who was going out of his mind over his son's disappearance.
I'm in this book?
You sure are awfully quick to accept your role in this story. Are you sure that you don't have at least a WHAT?!
I've shown you 1,000,000 times.
Really? It must be the smoke in here. Kind of hard to remember things.
Why remember things when you can wish for them?
What should I wish for?
Oh my god! You're aware that you're forgetting things. Zaida reminds you that you can wish for things, and you don't think of wishing that you could remember what was forgotten? What is wrong with you?
And he thinks the smoke is making him forget things? This movie is wrong and the PG is a lie.
Nibley takes a peek at another one of Bastian's memories, and luckily it's one that serves the plot instead of being random, like simply flashing back to that sandwich he killed earlier.
Don't be afraid, Bastian. We're all part of a never-ending story.
We are? Even if we die?
Yes, Bastian. We are.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Did you think that you were ever a part of something else? Your book is literally called The Never-Ending Story! Even more luckily, Atreyu sees this memory as well.
Well, from what you tell me, the emptiness has found its way into Bastian's head.
It's Orin, isn't it? It works differently with humans than with us.
Because humans need memories.
Implying that Fantasians don't need memories?
And the Orin works differently for humans? Whatever, at least it's doing something.
If Bastian's so clever, why can't he see what's happening to him?
Because he's not clever! Have you met the guy? The invisible belted Bastian overhears them talking, and he thinks they're planning to betray him.
I've come to warn you. Liar! You're jealous because I have Arn and you've come to take it away from me. No, I have not. I overheard you talking to Falcor, so don't even try to make excuses. You've gone mad, Bastian. Give me Orin. She wants me to have it. You understand nothing. Why don't you just go back and play with your buffaloes? Country boy.
Hey, life ain't nothing but a funny riddle. Thank God he's a country boy.
Every time you use Orin, you lose one of your memories. A few more wishes, and the emptiness will possess you. Now, give me Orin before it's too late. Take it if you can.
Bitch, this kid is supposed to be one of the greatest warriors in the annals of imagination. What makes you think you can take him?
Maybe he forgot that Atreyu's a mighty warrior?
If only they didn't establish him as an idiot before he started forgetting everything. So they tangle, and the great warrior who was tasked with stopping the cosmic entity that's destroying all of creation is easily taken down. Atreyu sucks.
You brought this on yourself!
Victim blaming.
And then Zaida just shows Bastian that Atreyu was telling the truth for no reason whatsoever. Why?
You've only 2 wishes to go.
Implying that he only has 2 memories left? Shouldn't he be a vegetable right now? Falcor flies Atreyu to the Ivory Tower, and Bastian tries to follow them with Artax.
My son on a horse? He can't ride a horse.
All the other crazy nonsense in the story, and this is where you draw the line? But Zaida separates them instead of just letting them wander away into whatever random direction they were going. Seriously, despite their going in circles, the Ivory Tower has always been a stone's throw away. Where are you going, Bastian? Luckily, Bastian's able to save himself.
According to the machine, he still has 2 wishes left. There must be something wrong with it.
Maybe he just doesn't want to make wishes anymore because he now knows that there's a machine that'll take away his memories every time that he makes a wish. You're an idiot too!
Or maybe he just forgot how to wish.
Zaida and her giants drove through the earth and into the underworld of Fantasia. Here they could travel with the speed of darkness, which was faster than the speed of light. They would find Bastian in no time and force him to make his last wish.
For being faster than the speed of light, they sure are taking their sweet time. Nimbly has a change of heart and decides to help Bastian.
Tell me where I can find Falcor.
At the Silver City. But you won't like what you see.
Oh, what could be so terrible that... Ew. And wait, why did Falcor take Atreyu to the Silver City? Weren't they going to the Ivory Tower?
Behind those rocks, you'll find a path through the mountains.
Come with me.
Or you could go and fly to the Silver City and get Falcor to come back and pick up Bastian. Assuming, of course, that you can't just fly Bastian there yourself because it's a simple question of weight ratios.
I got the part of a spy in this story, Mr. Bastian. And he who spies and flies away lives to spy another day.
Well, thanks for that. Your redemption is meaningless because you've chosen to be a slave to the role that you've been written into. Bastian finally reaches the Silver City, which has been burnt to a crisp because... empty?
Sidebar here, why is Dad so sweaty?
Probably has something to do with it being a very intense read. That, and it's also dramatic!
Hopefully the book will tell him to turn on the AC.
And a light.
And a light, yes.
Now Bastian has to make a wish to save his best friend / crush.
Dead man breathing.
I wish for nothing more in the world than for you to live, Atreyu.
Does that mean he's incapable of wishing for anything else after this? So hooray, Atreyu was brought back to life through wishing just like he was the last time.
I'm sorry for what happened.
How can you be sorry? You shouldn't remember what happened. Then Zaida shows up, again, pretty slow for being faster than the speed of light, to force Bastian into making his final wish.
Use what's left of your brain and wish to go home.
I won't betray the childlike Empress!
Very well. But how will your father feel if he never sees you again?
What kind of bargaining chip is that? As far as you know, they hate each other.
My father.
Who?
Oh my god, he totally should have said that. If he was any kind of a creative thinker, he could have just said, "Oh, I forgot my father," and then that's something that she can't use against him. So Bastian gives in and does make his final wish.
I wish for you to have a heart.
Seriously? What is she, the fucking Tin Man? No, wait, she's actually a magical moonbeam. Her tears are gonna make the dolphins start talking. Or maybe she was a nuclear moonbeam.
Let's ignore for the moment that there is no way that he could have anticipated this wish having that effect on her. I just want to know, what was he trying to do with that wish? I mean, he wishes that she has a heart, and then what? How does that undo the damage that's been done to Fantasia? Connect the dots for me.
If she has a heart, at least that's something he could stab like a vampire.
It's something! So yeah, somehow wishing that she has a heart kills her, and it makes everything better. Yay!
You have found the only wish powerful enough to save us, Bastian.
You mean aside from, I wish that Fantasia was back to normal?
The emptiness cannot be destroyed. It had to be filled with love.
Is that what he did? He filled her with love and it made her explode?
Yeah, no. Not only do we see Zaida clearly being destroyed, but filled with love? Her having a heart doesn't make her filled with love, it only gives her the capacity for being filled with love. And again, even if that is what happened, so what? How does her being filled with love actually do anything to save Fantasia?
And Aaron?
It's only a mirror of what's inside you.
It's utterly lacking in all creativity.
Only for humans. For Fantasians, it's utterly useless.
It's only a mirror of what's inside you. Courage comes from the heart, not from symbols.
1. Bastian saved the day not with courage, but with incredibly dumb luck. 2. You don't think that courage can come from symbols? You don't know how symbols work, lady.
If you found courage, you can go home and heal both of our worlds.
I can't go home.
Why not? Falcor had a pretty easy time of hopping dimensions in the previous movie.
No, he means he can't go home because he can't remember how to go home.
Oh yeah. We saw that Fantasia came back, but we didn't see Bastian's memories come back, did we? But just as soon as he says, "I can't go home," Fantasia says, "Hold my ale," and presents him with a way home.
That's the way home?
Yes, Bastian. The only way.
Why can't he imagine a way home that's a little less dangerous? I mean, okay, fine, he can't because, moron, but why isn't that even an option?
You found courage. Bastian, you have. You found courage.
My father. That's his voice.
Now make a wish from your heart.
I wish to go home and tell my dad that I love him.
At which point, you just disappear and then reappear back home, right?
I wish to go home and tell my dad that I love him.
Good luck, Bastian.
Good luck!
And why am I haunted by Cupcake Lady Liberty?
No, it turns out that he made it home safe and sound. Or at least safe and sound-ish, since he was plopped out into this rainstorm. Sure would have sucked if Dad wasn't home to let him in. Why doesn't he have a key to his own house?
You helped me, didn't you?
You heard me?
Of course I heard you.
Yeah, shouldn't he have known that since he read that part?
My father.
That's his voice.
Now, maybe he just got confused and thought it was his older, more boring dad calling out to him.
I love you.
I love you too, Dad.
I don't know why I drew that out like I was still on the fence about it, but I love you too, Dad.
So that was the Neverending Story 2, and it is so stupid it's abusive. To be fair, the production values mostly are on par with that of the original. The emptiness is every bit as threatening as the nothing, if not more so. The child actors are again doing a great job with the material, but that's the biggest problem. The material is atrocious. Why is this older, more developed Bastian more of an emotional wreck than he was in the first movie? Why was he able to dream an entire world back into reality, but now he's cursed with the imagination of a wet paper bag? The first movie ends with a little narration saying that he went on many more adventures and he made many more wishes before returning to the ordinary world. I assume that he was sharing in those adventures with Atreyu and Falkor, and he'd be flying through all kinds of exotic lands, fighting all kinds of monsters and villains. Why is he even more of a wuss, and why is he so much less imaginative? If anything, it looks like the Neverending Story broke this kid. But there is a very simple solution to this problem. Have Bastian learn early on of the machine that's stealing his memories. The first movie establishes that Bastian can wish for anything that he wants, and as such, it's all too easy to imagine him wishing for something as simple as, I wish the emptiness would release the childlike Empress and stop trying to destroy Fantasia, and that would be it. But if he can do something as simple as that, then we have no story. If Bastian is suddenly put into a situation where he can't just wish for anything that he wants, now you've got somewhere for the story to think more creatively. If he was aware of how making a wish would make him lose a memory, that means that he has to use his wishes sparingly, and that he has to be more creative with them when and if he does make a wish. Maybe throw in a rule like he can't just wish for the machine to disappear, like how Disney's Aladdin couldn't ask for more than the 3 wishes he was allotted.
Ixnay on the wishing for more wishes. That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3. No substitutions, exchanges, a refund.
And since his ability to just wish his way out of any situation is limited, he's forced to handle his problems more head-on, as he learns how to be a more heroic protagonist with Atreyu by his side. He also named the childlike Empress after his mother, right? While he'd probably still address her by her royal title, maybe he could see more of his mother in her and he would feel less like she's gone, since he can just go back and see her whenever he wants. If the first movie isn't going to heal that wound like it looks like it should have, think that happened here in this one. There are some other little problems that might need tweaking here and there, but on the whole, I think those will cover the larger problems with this movie. So, that's how I would make that better. And you guys are just gonna let me walk on by, right? Thank you. Onward.
My little friends, I'm hanging on to you despite what the nothing will do.
Hey guys, and we are once again coming back to the question of the review, where we ask questions of the audience, and the audience gives us answers to those questions. Kind of how questions and answers work, right?
Usually.
Usually, yes. And the question for the Neverending Story review was what, Raven?
Question of the review for the Neverending Story review was... That's a lot of review. Who do you think could have been Atreyu's inner self and why?
Because that was one weird-ass scene. I answered, frankly, it's impossible for me to think of anything but Danny Trejo after Raven suggested him. This guy who's a complete badass in everything you put him in, but he's also the nicest guy in the world? Yeah, that sounds about right. And come on, Atreyu, that was just too perfect. And totally unexpected. That was just the answer that Raven thought up of, and it was like, hey, Danny Trejo, Atreyu, it's perfect. And, of course, this nice guy, badass, would also have his own donut shop, and I want to see what Atreyu's donut shop would be like.
We're going to have to go and see... We're going to have to go to the Danny Trejo's donut shop. Check it out.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, since he stole my answer, I didn't have to come up with another one.
Yes, technically Raven's the first one to answer this question in the video itself.
Nobody Z26 says, I think Atreyu's inner self would be an adult version of himself. Despite still being a kid, he acts like an adult, facing his fears head on, despite whatever crazy stuff his adventures throw at him.
And with the themes of childhood and a transitioning into adulthood, that's what that's all about.
Exactly.
I guess it's a good thing that I can say on a public platform, oh no, there's something that I don't understand. Because now I got lots and lots of people saying, actually, this is what it means. In the case of Aidan Barnes, maybe Atreyu just wanted to be a normal kid, which is why he saw Bastian in the mirror. Being a warrior on a quest is cool and all, but maybe he just wanted some time to enjoy the little non-enchanting / dangerous things in life.
Makes sense.
It makes so much sense that that is in fact what actually happened. We have Noah Hathaway playing Atreyu in the movie, and one would think that after a performance like that, he'd become this huge superstar. But he retired from acting because he didn't want to do that anymore. He just wanted to be a normal kid, and that's what he did. And he's an adult now, and he is a tattoo artist in LA. Where, of course, everyone asks him for the Orin.
I bet. Who played Bastian? I can't remember his name.
Bastian was played by Barrett Oliver.
Yeah, he also retired from acting.
Who was always first and foremost young Victor Frankenstein from Frankenweenie. At least
he
to
also
me.
retired from acting, though, and he became a historic photographer?
Photography historian.
Photography historian.
Wherein he specializes in a very particular old-timey process of photographing people.
And he kind of looks Amish. Look it up.
An Amish Rastafarian, if that makes
Something
any
like
sense.
that. Yeah, I just remember seeing the beard.
Beard and dreads.
Oh, he has dreads? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Going along with the thing about what was actually going on in the Mirrorgate, Laughing Ghost Productions says, I think I may have an answer to why Atreyu saw Bastian. Remember that the gnomes said that they'd see their true selves? Think about it. Bastian and Atreyu are opposites. Atreyu is a warrior known across the land of Fantasia, while Bastian is a scared, insecure little boy who can't even stand up to some bullies. So Atreyu is seeing that in reality, he is just a scared little boy that has the literal weight of the world on his shoulders. And yes, actually no, he does not have the weight of the world on his shoulders. He has the weight of all of creation on his shoulders. And Raven, you will insist that he's just being whiny about it.
Whining doesn't help.
It's a big job.
It doesn't make it easier.
It doesn't make it easier, but is he not allowed to express himself?
Express himself in a non-whiny manner.
I lost my luck dragon. I can't find the yard. Put on your big boy pants and get it done.
Right.
So mean. Midnight Sonnet says, his true self is a fictional character in a book being read by whomever reads the book. He wasn't aware of this, hence why he was confused and horrified. He, like every other thing in Fantasia, only exists if humans continue to have hopes, imaginations, and dreams. Basically, an existential crisis that's forgotten until he sees the Empress. And and it's not too much of a crisis when he's actually talking about it with the Empress herself. It's like, on some base level, I think these creatures all know that they're fictional. But I guess whenever...
Real Atreyu.
But I'm real. Spoilers.
Nah.
No, I guess that's not spoilers anymore. You're watching this after that video, aren't you?
We're putting this at the end of the
Duh. But, but it's always going to be surprising for Atreyu, isn't it? He knows that, okay, I'm going to get to this point in the story where I go to the Mirrorgate. Who's it going to be this time? It's the Frankenstein kid? What is this? Who's that?
The Frankenstein kid.
Huh. Just a few minutes ago, it was the old guy from the bookstore. Now it's you? Who are you? You're not me!
So moving on.
Yes.
Nicholas Lee, 25, had an interesting idea. He said maybe chief. Maybe he sees being the chief of the tribe, leading a new generation of Atreyu-like warriors.
That'd be interesting. That'd be a sequel hook I could get behind.
Oh, definitely.
Tack on. I cannot pronounce Japanese words. Excuse me. I think that's a Japanese word. I don't know. The true self of Atreyu, since he's the audience surrogate, is whoever is reading the book. That's why it's Bastian.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
And it would make sense if the book is constantly changing to accommodate whoever's reading it.
Yeah.
Again,
And
he's always seeing someone new every time that book is opened. And then he saw some weird guy in a ponytail with a burgundy jacket. What the hell?
And it further goes to prove the point that we made in this review that they just watched, which was that anybody could be doing this. Choose a different champion. Bastian is an idiot.
Really, childlike Empress.
I'm ready for the hate. Just bring it on. I was not a huge fan of the original Neverending Story. The book was better, probably. Probably. I don't imagine it was worse.
It was enough of a huge hit that it got a movie adaptation within only a few years of its original publication. That's amazing.
Yeah, okay. That's great. For me, it was meh.
So we have this meh character in a meh movie. Her opinion, not mine. So imagine. I wish you guys could see the note-taking process where we're both watching this movie. And why aren't you doing anything? Come on!
The running gag throughout the last note-taking thing was asking him, why are you still surprised at how stupid Bastian is? You're expecting that this is the stupidest he could be. No, there's always more. There's always a level underneath that for Bastian to go.
I keep expecting these characters to grow in some capacity. Okay, maybe at the beginning he's not going to buy the you could just wish for anything you want to thing for some ungodly reason. I don't know why he wouldn't be into that if that's what the whole first movie ended on. Tell him! Keep on saying, hey, wish for something. Nimbly, God bless you. You were trying. Oh no, Bastian, help me. I'm in mortal danger. Let's see if I can find a stick I can pull you around with. Oh no, we're being attacked by this terrible army. What should we wish for?
God, that was the pinnacle of stupid. But no, we can't call it the pinnacle of stupidity because we still have to do the third one. And I have a feeling that is going to be even worse.
We should move on before we open up that little kettle of fish.
Yes, we can. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No review spoilers. Okay.
Moving on. Sorry about that.
Shayna Bamhard, 2274. Shayna Bamhard says, I don't know why, but for some weird reason, I'm picturing his inner self as Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
I'm down for it because, it's the same thing with Danny Trejo. Total badass, but also nicest guy in the world. So why not? I can see it. Plus, the hair and a little bit of face.
And I gotta laugh at the image of this slacker in high school who probably has no respect for the medium of fantasy literature at all, suddenly rising to become the Atreyu-like hero of that story. Yes. Read, boys and girls. It's everything that's awesome.
Fundamental.
Yes.
May I interrupt for just a moment? To add a cute?
To add a cute? Uh-oh. There's a cute coming.
Come on.
There's too much whining outside, apparently.
don't think they've met Percy.
They have not met Percy, no.
This is Percy.
Percy Purrs.
He's my itty bitty kitten.
Itty bitty, yes.
So itty bitty.
And you can only imagine why she might call him Percy.
It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's microphone. Okay.
He is adorable and he is loud. And as you can see, a total snugglebug.
He is. He's a drooly snugglebug, too.
And that means you're doing it right.
I guess. Ooh, right in the mouth. Thank you. Big wet kiss.
Absolutely. Are there any other kind?
Go on.
How am I supposed to go on when we got this?
Because we gotta.
Oh, fine. Vicarious scritchies. There we go.
It's your turn.
It is my turn to read the answer of Noah Harris, who is now going by Noah Harris the Awesome. Excellent title there.
Confidence.
Yes, indeed.
More than just running real fast.
You know, that Sphinx Gate is just a dick. Dicks. I don't
boobs.
know. Dicks with boobs.
Dicks and boobs.
Yes, exactly.
Or dicks with boobs. Ooh.
Oh my. Anyway, I'm picturing Atreyu's inner self is a Coraline from Coraline, or maybe Charlie Bucket from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because he has a pure heart.
I guess Atreyu has a pure heart.
He might have a true heart. He was noticeably the least rotten kid of the 5 that went to visit Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. But because the Sphinx Gate is a dick, we've established this, Charlie Bucket's screwed. He's gonna walk through that thing and he's gonna get zappy-zapped.
Oh, yes. He has no belief in himself.
No, it's not that. It's just that this thing's gonna zap everything that comes its way. Atreyu, does he have confidence issues? I don't think he did. But, hey, there's someone walking by. I will kill you now, zap. Come on. And what is the point of that exactly? You seek an oracle because you're trying to find a very particular piece of information that is eluding you through conventional means. Why does it gotta try to kill you for you to get that information? How does that help? What's that doing?
Sorry. Very drooly.
Yes, he is. We have Drooly Kitty here.
Luckily, he does not object to me wiping his face.
No, that's just more contact.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now it's my turn.
He is all about the snuggles.
Oh, I get Bambi Man's answer. Brandon Croker.
Yeah.
He says, Atreyu's inner self is truly Finn from Dipper from Gravity Falls. They're both surrounded by crazy imaginative things happening all around them, and both have self-confidence issues. I have never seen Gravity Falls, but I've heard a lot of people really enjoy it.
I was going to say that reference is going over both of our heads, so it's not just you. But
it's always nice to hear from Brandon.
Yes, but confidence issues? Again, really? I didn't see him struggling with anything. SPM Scout says, tough call, but I'd probably go with Jen for the Dark Crystal due to the quests they go on and being a bit similar to each other. And that is a wonderful answer, because human imagination is all-encompassing. If you imagine it, it's real. Jen very well could share the same space as Atreyu, because this is the multiverse.
That's a show I'd like to see them continue. It's a shame that they didn't.
They were gonna, weren't they?
Stop eating my hair.
There was going to be a second season of Age of Resistance, wasn't there? But then there wasn't.
That they're going to do it as a musical or something. I'm down. I'm willing to give it a chance. From the Jim Henson Creature Shop and the Dark Crystal, so yeah, it's gonna be worth checking out. But
we need to give it a chance, don't we?
I'm still mad at Netflix.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Help us out here, huh? User Woe 7, Kill 7, or 3G. Hello, robot.
Pronounce it. Pronounce it all as one word.
User Woskivile says, since he lives in a fantasy world and comes from a land that demands physical prowess, I imagine that his inner self resembles a Native American version of Conan the Barbarian. I would even go so far as to say as he might be a descendant of one of his tribe's gods. Whoa, he's native Jesus. That would be epic.
It really would. And finally...
Oh, actually... sorry, just real quick. A second ago, I was talking about how if you just imagine something, then it's real. In the little tiny shred of imagination that was spent on putting that idea to text, that became real. There is Atreyu as he happens in the book. There's Atreyu as he happens in the movies. And now, somewhere in the multiverse of Fantasia, or Fantastica, or whatever you want to call it, there is now an Atreyu who is literally the offspring of his people's gods. Because you dreamed it. It's there.
See, anybody can do it except Bastian.
Anybody can do it! Except Bastian for some reason. I want to smack this kid.
And finally. Kesha and Anders 6452 says, in the beginning, Atreyu was confident, brave, and cocky. I believe, yeah. I that whole, well, I'll just go back to the plains and, y'all fend for yourselves if you don't think I can do it.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Cool. I wish we could go back to that original Atreyu instead of, I lost the horse, and I lost my horse. And, yeah, that was a big change. Anyway.
Yeah, you lose your horse and you see how much of a badass you are.
So his inner self could be a scared, sad, and helpless little child, representing that he is just as frightened about the nothing as everyone in Fantasia, or Fantastica as it was called in the book. That explains why he became so doubtful about himself for the rest of the movie. He's admitting that he isn't perfect and his fears are coming true beforehand.
Boom, there you go.
Okay, that's great and all, but I disagree because Atreyu is a fictional character. He should have all the confidence that he displayed in the beginning of the movie. That's the point. That's why Bastian has such a crush on him, because he's awesome. Best friend my ass. That's his crush.
But not so much of a crush that he could just think about possibly wishing him at apparel. Bastian, what is wrong with you, man?
We'll further explore that in the next review for Neverending Story 3. Oh. It's rough.
Oh, it hurts.
Remember, you signed up for this, baby.
I did not. I was roped into it.
The crap movie shows you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
I was roped into it.
You were roped into it. Okay, fine. You chose me. You chose this lifestyle. But yes, we have Fantasia, which is terrorized by things like the nothing and the emptiness. I'm terrorized by the crap.
The crap.
They somehow latch onto me. They know that I'm there, so ooh, there's someone we can play with.
Throw a talking monkey at him. He loves those.
Oh, yes. Talking monkeys and wolves making pop culture puns. Sure, why not?
Oh, you brought up a very good point while we were taking notes.
I did.
It's all real. According to the Neverending Story, anything that you dream up becomes real in Fantasia. That means, what is there in Fantasia, dear?
In Fantasia, because it becomes real with just a little bit of imagination, magical moonbeam tears are real. If you cry into the North Atlantic, they will get caught into a net of magical moonbeams, and then you can talk to dolphins. That is canon with everything. and everything is canon within itself.
That means Kate Humph, real and thriving in Fantasia.
Oh.
That's their demon spawn.
The pups are real. Brent is real.
Brent is real.
The buddies are real.
Every incarnation.
It's all real. Why, Lisa? Why? Hey, the Nothing. How about you just eat this little corner of Fantasia? Can you do that? Is that okay? Have at it. have at the end of the first Fantasia, we see that the world is destroyed, but we still see lots of space out there. There are still stars, lots of planets. Those are all little tiny facets and little worlds of imagination that still exist. Nothing, Mr. Nothing, can I call you Mr. Nothing? Eat this world. This is the world of things that Bob Show has reviewed. Do you want to eat that world? That'd be good. I don't think anyone's going to miss it. but yes, it's all real. Regardless of how stupid or nonsensical it is. Why?
Bayformers.
Ah! No! And we need to end this video so I can leave Raven.
It's been a good run.
It was a good run, but no, I'm out. I cannot deal with Bayformers being real. Thank you all for contributing to into this question of the review with your answers, and be sure to do so again next time with this next review that we're doing. And we will see you guys later.
Bye.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.